this is the window that I'm getting ready to put in. This is a Croft brand vinyl window. I'm working on an older house. I don't know what year this house is. But the windows that are in it are all wood sash, and they've definitely got some age on them. So anyway, I'm going to walk you through the steps of removing the old window and putting in the new vinyl insert replacement window. And real quick, these are the tools that you'll need. I've got a painter's knife that I'm using to clean up around the sashes, box knife for cutting away the caulking and things that are around the edge, rubber mallet just to assist if I have something that's a tight fit, taking it in or taking it out or putting it in. I definitely don't recommend hitting on a new window, but on some of the old stuff, taking it out, that might be handy. So hammer and pry bars for removing the trim, a brush to clean out the sill, and then my impact with a Phillips and a Torx. The Phillips is probably the only one that I'll use, and I'll be using that to take the storm window off the outside before I remove the window on the inside. And some of these windows that I've already removed had some Phillips screws in them, screwing the window shut, which is another reason why we're replacing them. We want all the windows to open. So we'll start the process. First things I'm going to do, I want this mini blind out of my way, but I'm going to be putting it back up, or putting a new one back up when I'm done. So I've removed the little tab on one end, and that way I can remove the blind without messing up my brackets. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to go outside and remove the storm window, because we're not going to be using those storm windows now that we have a new. Okay, so some of the screws on this window are flat bit. Those are always fun to remove. Okay, so I have all the screws removed. That's where I'll be using the brush to clean out the sill, and of course all of this is going to get repainted. We'll go inside and we'll remove the sash. We've got a live wasp nest right here. Use some WD-40 and get rid of that real quick. Alright, if you haven't heard of WD-40 for wasps and hornets yet, it works pretty good. Okay, there we go. Ready to move inside. It's too hot out here anyway. So I'm going to take my box knife, and because there are so many layers of paint and caulking, I'm going to go around my trim strips on both sides, go around all the sashes, even the top right here where you would usually have a latch. They don't even have a latch, but it's caulked and painted shut. So I'm going to go around all that with the box knife, break the seal, and it'll make it a lot easier to pull all of that off. This type of window that I'm using is it's an insert, which means that it doesn't have a nailing flange on the outside. it simply fits inside of the original casing. So when the sashes are removed and the trim pieces are removed, that window will fit right inside of this casing, which is what it was measured to, width and height. And it will fit right inside that. It has 4 screw holes to hold it in. And then you'll caulk around it inside and out to seal it up. And it's done. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can get fancier and put trim around it on the inside, but this is for a rental property, so everything is on the cheap because it is just a rental. As long as it's energy efficient, we want to keep the price down as much as possible. So, all right. Cut around everything. I use my pry bar. The first thing I want to do is take off these trim pieces on both sides. They run the full height of the window. Really, they're held on more by the paint than they are the nails that are in them. There's that. That's just like a 3/4 by 3/8 strip. And this strip is the only thing that's holding in the lower sash other than the paint and the caulking. Can't really tell if there's caulking or not. I think it's just paint. Really thick paint. Because that's painted in there, we're going to have to kind of break the seal. So I'm going to get my pry bar in between the 2 sashes. Okay, once it's started, there we go. Pull it right out. Move it outside. There's the other wasp that we didn't get earlier. Sorry, little guy. All right. So now we've got 2 more trim pieces on the inside that run from the top sash down to the bottom, down to the windowsill, and then we'll have another one right here at the top of the sash. Those 3 need to come out for the top sash to come out. That's the 2 lower. Now we've got one up here. It's good on the eardrums. Okay, those are all out. Should be able to remove the top sash. Watch taking these old windows out. These are just a single pane. This glass breaks easy, so I should be wearing safety glasses in case that were to break so I don't get any of that in my eye. If it wasn't coming out as easy as it is, I would probably do that. Okay, so now everything is out. I'm going to take my paint scraper and I'm going to go around and I'm going to clean out all of the built up paint, caulking, make sure there's no little trim nails or anything like that, and I'll use my brush to sweep out the windowsill, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we'll insert the window. My window is all cleared out. got a couple things that I've noticed on these new windows that kind of have a nipple on the corners. So what I'm going to do is trim that off. That's just a little injection mold nipple. I found on the other windows that I've put in that caused a little bit of a drag when I was putting them in. So by removing that, I'm making it a lot easier on myself getting these in. Then on the bottom it has these cardboard packing cones. Take those off. And do the same thing. Trim off the corner, these little corner nipples. Now the windows that you have, you may not have to do that, so try it first. You always want to dry fit these anyways, just to make sure that everything fits the way it should. So, now that I've got that done, set the window the direction that I want it. Okay, so it's going to go just like this. I'm going to open the bottom sash, take my screw packet out. Okay, hopefully this will slide right in. It should. Okay. So now I've got the bottom of my window is set into the bottom of the sill on the outside of this sill plate. And I should be able to work my corners in. That's where if I had to trim those little nipples off, it would be extremely tight. So that's a little snug. I'm going to take my rubber mallet. I'm just going to tap it in. Tapped in until it's up against the casing. Make sure that I'm up tight against my windowsill. Then I'll go outside and I'll inspect and make sure that it's tight against the frame all the way around. And if it is, then I can come in and place my screws in the frame. Everything's in nice and tight. Looks good on the outside. Looks good on the inside. So now I take my screws and my caps. And you have 4 screw points on these particular windows. Got one in each lower corner. And then with the sash all the way up, there's one right underneath the sash, both sides. So we get all those in, and then you'll take the little plastic caps, and that helps with your insulation, your R factor. So you want to make sure you insert that cap in the hole where the screws go. So here's what I'm going to be using on the windows. I'm going to use this inside and out. This is the DAP 230. 100% waterproof window, door, and trim sealant. It is paintable and water cleanup, interior, exterior, so I can use it inside, outside, and it's water cleanup, so it's just easy stuff to work with, and it works works fantastic. All I'm going to do is run a bead around the perimeter of the window, and this just seals it up. These windows fit snug enough that really don't have any issues with gaps, but if you did, I think this caulking is supposed to go up to a 1-inch gap, so you could use it to take care of that also. That's all sealed in nice. I'll do the same thing on the outside. I won't video that, that's pretty self-explanatory. And that window is all done, ready for the frame to be painted, and you're all done. So the mini blind can go back up now, or you can put it back up after you paint. In this case, the tenant is going to be coming in and painting, so I don't even have to mess with that part, which is awesome because I hate to paint. So anyway, that's how you remove an old window and install a vinyl insert. Thanks for watching.